All right, hello everybody. Travis Chandler, Chandler Gaming, back with the next scenario of Roller Coaster Tycoon. It is going to be carts and coasters, a large park hidden in the forest with only go-kart tracks and wooden roller coasters. The objective is to have at least 1,000 guests in your park at the end of year 3 with a park rating of at least 600. This is a challenging one. It's full of trees, it's full of hills, it's very challenging. So let's just see what we can do with it. So first thing we want to do is pause. We gotta get our staff going first. So what is suggested in this scenario is have a mechanic for each of the rides, because this is a huge park. Okay, I did get a list of hotkeys and I need to start using them. So this is going to be much easier with the hotkey list. It will be, that way I'm not screwing around with the menus and having to click around and all that other bullshit. So, we needs to hire new handyman. And we need to spread them around the park. 12 to 14 is what they're saying we should get. So and for good reason, because like I said, this is a huge, huge park. I was watching one guy play on YouTube. I tried playing this scenario earlier, and I was getting my ass kicked in it because of how big this park is. Gotta keep the park all nice and clean, you can't have the park get all dirty and shit, because then people won't come. People won't come at all, Can't have that, because then we'll lose money. I want to be like Scrooge McDuck and dive in my vault of gold coins every morning. Speaking of Scrooge McDuck, speaking of Scrooge McDuck, I don't know why now all of a sudden I got the from Brennel Floss. I got his rendition of the moon theme from DuckTales, the NES game, and yeah, now I got his song stuck in my head. Ducks! Yes, ducks from outer space, from the Disney afternoon. Now you know what I'm going to be listening to after I'm done here. One thing I need to do as well is I need to shorten up some of these queue lines. Because that is one thing people do say about this game. They say don't make your queue lines too long. Because if you do, then people will end up walking away from the ride. Because they're waiting too long to get on the ride. I did find out too, one thing I was always wondering, what exactly the security guards did. And I know now all they do now is just look after the benches and shit. Yeah, you're not where you need to be. You need to be this way. There we go. There. Okay. You need to be over here. There you go. There you go. I think. Let me see. What's the underground toggle? One. Yep. that's exactly where we need to be. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Gotta make more eateries because people are gonna flip out. Oh, we're hungry, we're hungry, we're thirsty, we're thirsty. I keep forgetting about the funding. I keep forgetting about the funding. Okay, now we need to lower the price of the rides. That's the biggest thing they said to do. So $2 for you. The go-karts, they said, lower them down to 1 lap. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we need to build trash cans and benches. Why you can't put them in while the game's paused, I have no friggin' clue, but whatever. Benchies here. 4, we'll do a set of 4. But here's something weird. The staff list. You can hire staff and place them while the game's paused, and it makes no sense to me whatsoever. See, I thought the security guards would help cut down on the rides breaking down and shit, because I thought, oh, there's probably vandalism, but that's not the case. Come to find out. There we go. And then we hire ourselves Paul Blart. Another Paul Blart. We clone Paul Blart. That's what we're doing. We're cloning Paul Blart. And I'm thinking there's one more. I'm not sure that I did not. So now, we are ready to start building ourselves some general rides. Gotta get those up first. And I gotta find a good spot for it, so give me a sec here. Just to kind of leave me a marker. Okay, there we go. We want to leave me a marker. We want to do 50 cents for this. Because they did say put the general rides up in front of the park. People did say too, the guide I'm reading, they said build on the hills. Don't worry about flattening your land. Because that's what's going to end up costing you big time is... One thing I did hear about staff, you want to hire entertainers to walk the long queue lines because it'll keep the guests entertained. I never knew that that was a thing, but that's apparently that's what a thing what is, you know. And just to make it look nice over here, because it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't put something down here. Right there. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here as well is I'm gonna... So what's our next ride? It's just a general ride, I know that, but... Oh, one thing they did say. Have like the chairlift or the monorail. If we could find where to... See, you kind of want this to be a transport for the guests. That's what you really want this to be. And now I'm trying to figure out where I want the chairlift to end. Oh, people want to pay more to get in the park. Alright. Hey, I'm not arguing with them. I'll end up making more money. You know, I used to love riding the chairlift. I did. It was pretty fun. But this is why I wanted 10,000 cash on hand, because, you know, when it comes to the big rides and shit, we can, like I say, build, get them going and all that. There, we have a nice flat spot for the Ferris wheel. I don't really like having my rides so close together, but I really don't have much of a choice in this scenario. I really don't, and it just really sucks because I don't know. It's just an OCD thing for me, I guess, but still, damn it, I don't know. People want to pay more to get into the park. They want to pay more to see the Six Flags dancing guy, I guess. The information kiosk, that needs to go in. That needs to go in as soon as we get done here. We're not even through with year one and we've already got 700 guests. Wow. And we got 3 years to finish this. People want to pay more to get into the park. Okay. Okay. I'd rather them tell me instead of, oh, nice, the observation tower. Okay. So where are we gonna put it? The water slide. Well, I don't know where to put one. That's the thing, I don't know where to put one. I know I could probably dig underground and... Yeah, I say that chairlift was a great investment. That chairlift was the best investment ever, man. Hell yeah. Nobody's riding the frickin' slide and yet it breaks down. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, man? How is that even a fucking thing, man? I'm serious. How in the hell is that even a thing? I may need to move these rides, though, because it's seeming like I need to. Okay, let's try the slide here. I'm wondering if it was just too far out of the way. That's what I was wondering. If people are gonna line up for it, I don't have a problem with that, but at the same time, nobody's fucking lining up for it. So we needs to find a good spot for... Okay, there. That'll lead right to the exit if people want to leave. There we go. Okay, we needs to find our eateries, which I just found one. There we go. People want to go up again and pay more to get in the park, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think they're idiots for saying, damn, the park's so cheap. But, whatever. Whatever. You know? There we go. Okay, cool. We're in year 2. We have 800 guests, well, over 800 guests, almost 900 guests. So, that means we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. Thrill ride. You know, I might just go ahead and put another bathroom up. There we go. Rides are getting popular now. Except that haunted house. I just don't know why the fuck it's not getting popular. I don't know why. I don't know why. The River Rapids. That'd be kind of a nice ride to have, but I don't have room for it. There. I'm thinking that's what was up. That haunted house just wasn't in the greatest spot and didn't get stuck, did you? Why the fuck are you all the way the fuck over there? Where? How the fuck did you get all the way over there? Yet. Okay. I don't know how the hell that mechanic got all the way the hell over there. I'm wondering if maybe I need to move that scrambled eggs as well. Because it makes me wonder if that's why it ain't being ridden. That we don't need the railroad. Speaking of railroad, I read an article about McDonald's about how the FBI had to go in and actually investigate the fraud of the monopoly from McDonald's. I remember as a kid that used to be so popular, you know, with the little stamps and you put it on the game board and all that. Well, they found that the bigwigs were always winning because they were keeping the winning pieces for themselves. So I guess some of the workers, they ended up ratting out the bigwigs, and yeah, the FBI came out and said, yeah, you have to stop the monopoly because it's just too corrupt, or it was rigged. It was rigged. It was too rigged. That's what I should say, not corrupted, really rigged. Even though that's still the same meaning, but still, I mean. And then what else they also found? They also found that they put all the different pieces in different states. So you would have to actually travel the country just to win the $1 million or win the new car, you know what I mean? And that's just wrong. I mean, you should have just as much of a chance no matter what state you're in of winning, you know? I could always get Park Place, but I could never get Boardwalk. And that's all because, like I said, they moved all the pieces around the different states to try to lessen the chance of people winning the $1 million or any of that. And if somebody did win, they would take out a insurance policy. And I kind of remember when I was working at McDonald's, I was only 16 when I worked there. You know, and I've worked there for 10 years, but anyway, I remember my first year, and it was Monopoly time. Oh my God, I never, ever worked so hard in my life. That was their moneymaker, you know? I mean, that's just what it was, you know? But my God, it was such a pain because all the, like, containers and wrappers that had the Monopoly pieces had to be locked up in the locked closet, as we called it. Just so then we employees wouldn't steal the game pieces, you know? And I mean, I get it. I mean, you know, how could you trust employees, you know? Another gentle ride. Watch it be the monorail, just to mock me. Watch it be the monorail. And that's the last damn thing I need is the monorail. Now, I did find out that, I do qualify for a, stimulus check. And I qualify for the full stimulus check. I had to go on TurboTax, and I had to register on TurboTax, register with the IRS, and it was accepted yesterday, so that was good. They gotta make sure everyone who's getting it is legal, you know, they're not illegal, you know what I mean? In which, you know, I've been a U.S. citizen for 31 years, so, you know, born in Iowa, so technically that would make me an idiot out walking around. My dad, when I was a kid, used to always say, when we would go to Iowa for something, I mean, he'd go to Iowa to buy his cigarettes because they were cheaper than buying them in Illinois. He would always say, hey, you want to go see some idiots out walking around? He didn't mean anything by it. I mean, that's just what everyone said around here, you know? And still do, you know? It's just a harmless little thing, you know? Ain't no one putting anyone down or anything like that. It just, you know, it's just a funny little thing that we say around here. Even the Iowegians say that. I think I have a good place for them bumper cars. I'm thinking. I'm a-thinking. You know, I wonder where all the wood goes when you cut down trees. Like, do we donate the wood for firewood, or do we make furniture out of it, or what? I mean, I don't know. Does it get sucked into a black hole? Into another dimension where Rick and Morty can go and get free firewood? I mean, I don't know. Oh. There we go. Bumper cars is getting ready to be made in a couple days. Okay. You know, I saw somebody was streaming, a friend of mine was streaming The Sims 4, and I really want to play the original. Just the original. I don't mind getting the Living Large expansion, but that's the only one I like. I didn't like it when they brought in the personalities or the pets. I hated that shit. I think that was way too excessive for that kind of game. Those pets were so hard to manage. They frickin' were, man. They were so hard to manage. But I wouldn't mind playing the original if I could find it. Not the complete edition. Like I said, just the regular Sims, and if I could buy the Living Large expansion, I'd totally do it, you know? There is one game I wouldn't mind playing called Mega Race. I do have it, but it's an old DOS game, and I can't get it to run on Windows 10 because Windows 10 doesn't have DOS. Windows 7 barely had DOS. According to Steam, there is a way you can play it on Windows 10. And I found Atari ended up buying the rights to the game. So, I don't know. I have it on GOG, and it makes me wonder, do I need to buy it off Steam and play it that way? But that was the first computer game I ever had, was Mega Race, and my dad had it. And it came with the Windows 3.1. I had a Packard Bell Windows 3.1 when I was really little. That was my first computer. And I remember I was so fascinated with it, and I learned it. It took me, God, a week or two, and I had learned it. So, you know. And back then, video games were just so simple, you know? It's like this game. I mean, it's simple. It's not over the top like what these games are nowadays. With like the Arkham games with Batman, where you gotta go around, do a bunch of shit, and do a bunch of puzzle solving and shit. I mean, I don't mind doing some puzzles, but when the game is heavily influenced by puzzles, that just kills it for me. It just does. It just does, man. Like, nothing beats the old, like, arcade fighters and the arcade, beat-em-ups and, you know. Nothing beats that, you know. Classic Super Mario Brothers, you know, nothing will ever beat that, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool what they can do with some of these games. They did really good with the RE2 and RE3 remakes. They did really good with them. I like the engine. I really do. I mean, it kind of is hard, but it's not terrible. So, you know, the Squaresoft remade Final Fantasy VII. It would be kind of cool if they redid Final Fantasy VIII. It really would. Because the original is so broken, that you can literally get overpowered at the beginning of the game. I actually found that in that game, the levels don't matter. They really don't matter at all. Because what they do is they scale the monsters to your level. The only thing that really does matter in Final Fantasy VIII is the AP. That for the GFs, the Guardian Forces. You gotta learn the abilities to really power up your characters. And you gotta get the weapon upgrades, which, if you learn how to manipulate the game and you know how to play the card game, you can get the better weapons before the end of first disc. I mean, I know there is a way you can get the Lionheart on the first disc if you really wanted it, but there are tons of people on GameFAQs that actually suggest against it because the biggest reason is, yes, the Lionheart exists on the first disc, the actual weapon does, but the Limit Break Lionheart does not exist in the code of the first disc. So, and being the limits are random for Squall, if he uses Lionheart on the first disc, the game will hardlock. Because it doesn't know what to do. Because there's no code for the Lionheart Limit Break. Which makes tons of sense, you know? You were never intended to get the Lionheart on the first disc, but yet people do it, so... And I know it's a cool little thing if people do it. I'm not saying it's wrong if people do it or anything like that. It, you know, I don't know. I just think it's a little excessive. I think it is. But I don't know. Final Fantasy VIII was actually my first Final... Well, technically it was my second, if you count Mystic Quest. I used to rent Mystic Quest on Super Nintendo all the time. At the video store here in the town I live in. Back when there were video stores. But I remember asking my dad and stepmom, I'm like, I want a Final Fantasy game. I want a Final Fantasy game. And I think they had to order it online because they're like impossible to get. They were impossible to get in the stores back then because everyone wanted them. Hell, I got them nowadays on my PS3. You know, got the digital. You know, that's another thing I'm really a fan of nowadays is digital media. I'm a huge fan of buying games on digital and having them on your hard drive. Huge fan of it. I thought it was stupid for a while, but, you know, now I see why people like to do it, you know? There, the bumper cars got popular. Good. So far, everything's doing good. So far, Cotton Candy Stall. We need to add that to our eateries as well. You know, one show I've been getting into lately is Recess. That old Saturday morning cartoon. You know, love that show. I didn't watch it much as a kid because I had Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. But, you know, I mean, that show was so cool. I mean, I really wish I would have been into it when I was a kid. I remember watching the movie, and I liked the movie. even though I didn't really know anyone from the movie. I'm sure there were kids all like, oh, it's Gus, it's Gretchen, it's, you know. And me, I didn't know who anyone was because I didn't watch the show, but the movie looked cool, and wow, we got a good bit of guests in the park, and it's August of year 2. Nice. Got another year yet, but that's okay. That's okay. One movie I'm surprised I found on YouTube, and it's actually for free, is there was an animated short movie, it's maybe 30 minutes, of The Little Engine That Could. And it had the same voice actor as Phil and Lil DeVille from Rugrats, and it also had the same voice actor of Mika from Captain Planet. Or I think that's what it was. The blonde chick's name, the one with the wind ring. You know, I don't see why people give Captain Planet so much shit, because it was, I mean, it's not the greatest show, but it's not terrible either, you know? Yes, it is cheesy. It's one of them frickin' educational cartoons. You know, all about saving the planet. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Really. Keeps kids out of trouble, you know? But the thing I always want to know is, why the hell does Captain Planet have a mullet? You know, I could modernize the Captain Planet theme. Donald Trump would be the hero. And then the squad in Congress and the Democrats would be the bad guys. President Trump, he's a hero, gonna take corruption down to 0. Alright, I'm gonna find a better spot for the Woe Belly. And it looks like right here. I'd have to work on the song though, but I'm sure I could make a good one for nowadays. Like the start of it could be, I have an idea for the start of it, and it's, like I said, if I really worked with it, I bet I could figure it out. "72 miles an hour for the Woe Belly." Ooh, we can go a little faster. No, my stimulus though, I did find out I am qualified for the full stimulus, but I won't get mine till September. All because I don't have a bank account to direct deposit in. I just don't trust banks. I just don't. They're a bunch of lying scumbags anyway, the bankers are, so I wouldn't mind getting Dragon Age too, because that game was pretty fun. I don't know, I might get a year of World of Warcraft and do World of Warcraft videos, because, you know, I did have fun doing those. I just wish I could get my buddy to play with me, get Discord, and him and I could just chat while I'm recording videos and shit, you know? I thought about getting my stepmom in on it too, but she's got my little brother to watch, and Well, he's my half-brother, because, she's his mother, so... But I just call him my little brother. But because of how things are here on Google, where they don't want anyone underage on video or audio, you know... It's not me that cares. I mean, I really could give a shit about him being on audio and camera and all. I really don't care, you know, but it's Google and the government that cares, you know. And I get it. I mean, they want to protect the kids, so I do understand it, but I really think it should be the parents' choice, not the government's, you know. I don't see where it's disgusting. I really don't see where the park is disgusting. I don't. And this is where, like I said, I wish it would point out where they're complaining so I could either hire a handyman or something like that, you know what I mean? Speaking of World of Warcraft, oh my god. 2006 and 5 and 6 is when I really got into it. A buddy of mine got me into it when we were in high school. And, that's all we do. We talk about World of Warcraft at high school, you know, during gym class. Because we had gym class together. We would have to, like, walk laps or something like that, and that's all we talk about is frickin' World of Warcraft. Tell you a funny story, too. Same buddy, we were in gym class one day, and it was hotter than hot could be, you know. It was like one of them 100-degree days, and they wouldn't let us have water bottles during gym class because it was post 9/11, you know, it's 2004, 2005, you know, and everyone was still kind of freaked out over 9/11, so the schools were really taking security seriously. So, you know, they were like freaking out that the water bottles may have like vodka in it or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, they wouldn't let us have them. So we said, fuck this, and there was an ice cream shop just I don't know, just across the street from the ball fields of the school, and we had to walk laps around the said ball fields. So, me and my buddy, we snuck money with us one day, and luckily it was hotter than hot could be. We ran across the street during gym class and got ice cream. I'm not kidding. We actually got ice cream and actually went back to class. We actually went back to class and we were eating our ice cream in front of the gym teacher. They just didn't care. I swear they just did not care, man. It's a wonder we didn't get in trouble, you know? It is. It is. It's just a wonder we never got in trouble for that. Burger bar. That's one thing I'd like to get is a charcoal grill. Because I've been watching videos on YouTube how to do it. And it doesn't look that hard. I mean, my dad tried to teach me a few years ago before he died, but you know, we were kind of drinking and smoking weed, and I was in no condition to be learning anything, so. And I wasn't, so, you know. But I've been watching YouTube videos how to do it, and it don't look that hard. I'd also like to get one of those, like, wireless thermometers for them, and I'd looked at them. They're not that expensive. They are a little, but they're not terribly expensive. and I saw how people were smoking the meat inside them. What you do is you make what they call a snake, which is just a big ring around the inside of the grill. And that is really for slow burns, for slow cooks. There's where it's probably disgusting, so we'll hire another one. But it makes so much sense. I never knew you could make like a big ring and have it just slowly work its way around and all that. I never knew you could do that. And you just sprinkle wood chips on the top of it. I remember one computer game, I don't know why this just popped into my head. I remember they remade Frogger. They turned it into kind of like an adventure kind of thing, where you played levels where you had to put Frogger in all 5 of the spots and all that. And the first level was the classic Frogger, but then they made new levels and all that. Never any good at the original Frogger. I never was. I was watching Jeff Dunham, just watching some clips of him, and there was a friend of mine that just got married not too long ago, and right before he got married, I sent him a clip of Walter. He was talking about marriage. It's like, yeah, it's like buying a new car. Like drinking a Slurpee. First couple sips, man, this is really good. I'm glad I did this. Then after the third or fourth, it's like, ow, 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 ow. The hell was I thinking? Someone kill me, please. Yeah, but then it eventually stops hurting. Yeah, then you're stupid enough to take another frickin' sip. You know, one show I kind of miss from the early 2000s is American Chopper. Paul Jr., Paul Sr., Jesus. They fought over the stupidest fucking shit, you know? Of course, that's what made those shows so funny, you know? I mean, my God, they could probably argue about what color the fucking sun is, you know? Fucking yellow. No, it's fucking orange. You know, back in 2008, 2009, yeah, it was kind of shitty with the whole market crash and all that shit, but really, it was the funnest time of my life, I think. I was making an okay living. I mean, I wasn't rich, but, you know, I had my own place and all that, and made okay money, and I remember I used to have to be at work at 4:30 in the morning, but I'd get off around noon. 10:30, 11, depending on the day. And then after work, I'd head home, shower, and then I'd go over to a buddy of mine's house that me and my dad knew, and I'd meet my dad there, and we'd just chill and hang out, cook on the grill, or run down the street to the bar and have lunch, or, you know. What I wouldn't do to go back to those days, too, you know. Because I do kind of miss it, you know, hanging out with my buddy and my dad, and, you know. But at the same time, I mean, there's good things, too, about nowadays. It's like nowadays I know how to be a YouTuber and, you know. I've got health insurance now. I've got, you know what I'm saying? So, you know. Whereas back then I didn't have health insurance. Wonder what shop soul we're still missing. I don't really know. Oh crap, I forgot all about this. And it was all because my dad used to say, oh, they just cheapened up the recipe and all that. And it was, then that's why it was $5 a large pizza, but it really wasn't bad, I didn't think. And me and my buddy, I used to go hang out with him every time I'd have to go get my prescriptions. The pharmacy was just up the road from, or down the road from his house, and so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just see if you're busy, and see if you want to hang out. And he's like, oh yeah, just give me a call when you're gonna be in town and we'll hang out. And I'm like, okay. And so that's what we used to do. We used to go to Little Caesars, or we would go to Popeyes when they brought Popeyes to our area. Hell yeah, man. And he told me, he said, once you go to Popeyes, you'll give KFC the finger. Oh, is that ever the truth? You know? You know who had real good chicken, too? And again, this was 2008 when I used to have my apartment, my 2-bedroom apartment. Walmart. Walmart Deli has great chicken. I used to get a pound of chicken tenders every other Thursday because I went grocery shopping every other Thursday. So I used to get a pound of their chicken tenders, and I would get like a side of, and then I'd get one of the lunches too, and that would be lunch and supper for me, was the chicken. Because even if the chicken went cold, I mean, it still was good in the microwave. But speaking of deli and chicken, last week when I went grocery shopping, I went to the local grocery store, all because of this COVID-19. The county I'm in doesn't have any cases, surprisingly. So, I went there, and they have a deli, and it's been a long time since I went to their deli. I think the last time I went, I was a kid, and I think I went with my grandma. And so I ended up getting like a chicken breast lunch, and where you got 2 sides and a bread, like a roll, and it was only like $3.99, and it was pretty good for chicken breast. It sure was. It was really good, actually. All right, we made it. We made it. The objective was to have 1,000 guests in your park at the end of October, year 3, with the park rating of at least 600. Oh, I killed it, man. 1,300 guests. You know, you achieved your objective with a company value of $66,635. Wow, that was pretty good, man. And I was having trouble in the beginning, so wow. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this scenario, because I actually had fun with it, even though I was pretty confused with it. But I hope y'all had fun, and I will see you all in the next video for the next scenario. Bye-bye!